Good afternoon and welcome to all. My name is Olivia Myers and I am a member of the class of 2017. For the past several months, it has been my pleasure to serve as the student representative of the Sweet Briar College Presidential Search Committee. When I first volunteered to be on the committee, I had a very small idea of what my duties would be, but I had no idea how challenging and exciting the entire process would be. I was surprised that there could be any more to learn about why Sweet Briar was so special and was thrilled to be able to share this passion with all of the other lovely members of the committee. It has been an honor to help these other dedicated members of the committee search for the next president of our beloved college. Working alongside them has taught me even more about the strength of the love and support there is for Sweet Briar College, and no one has done a better job of harnessing each individual committee member's strengths and channeling them into a clear, functioning unit than the person that it is my privilege to introduce. She is strong, intelligent, and incredibly dedicated to Sweet Briar College, and it is my absolute pleasure to introduce the chair of the Board of Directors and the Search Committee, Teresa Pike Tomlinson, class of 1987.
Well, thank you all, and thank you, Olivia. And how wonderful was that Sweet Briar Choir. Thank you all so much for that rendition today. Well, hello, Sweet Briar College community. Oh, what a journey we have been on together. Whether you're here today joining us in the Lane Auditorium on this beautiful Sweet Briar campus or joining us via live stream, we are so very grateful for you. You have been our tremendous support and have shown us that support as we fortify and shape Sweet Briar College to meet its bright future. To our students, who our mission proclaims we serve first and foremost. To our faculty, staff, and alumni who enable us to do so. To the parents, neighbors, and other stakeholders who cheer loudly for us and who also put their shoulders to the wheel of our success. We welcome you today to this most exciting announcement of a new president, the reading of the first page of our new chapter together. Joining me in these greetings to you are our board members, including our vice president, our vice chair, Georgine Vero, who could not be with us here today in person, but is here certainly in spirit and was instrumental to these proceedings. And also our other board members who do join us: Andrew Benjamin, Jax Bullitt, Alice Dixon, Mimi Foz, Carol Fowler, Kenton McCartney, Bernie Niemeyer, Frank Roach, Allie Simon, Marcia Tom Cayley, and Elle Warner, and former board member Ben Howerton, who I will ask all please to stand. Current and former board members, please stand so that we can recognize you and your service to Sweet Briar College. Some months ago, when President Phil Stone came to me and quietly urged that I, as chair of the Board of Directors, begin the long, challenging, and thoughtful process of selecting the next leader of this great institution, I confessed that I politely ignored him. Hoping that if I did not acknowledge his suggestion, it would not be, and we could continue in the successful fashion we had all too recently designed and he had so adeptly implemented. President Stone insisted, however, his role had been to work with us to right this ship, to undo what had been done, and to chart a course to calm water, which he did. He insisted further that though he loved Sweet Briar College, he was not the one to lead it where it needed to be, that there would be another to cast a vision for this college. He is a wise and selfless man. We owe President Stone and his wife Cheryl our deepest gratitude for giving of themselves and leading us to this point of celebration today. Please join me. Last spring, as we announced President Stone's impending retirement and set to survey the field for our new leader, we were blessed twice. Once with the capable search firm of Storbeck Pimentel, and once with a search committee of 13 strong, diverse, thoughtful, and committed souls determined to do the very best thing for Sweet Briar College, whatever the demand on their time or whatever the hindrance to their other commitments. Today we thank our Sweet Briar Presidential Search Committee, Andrew Benjamin, Jax Bullock, Martha Tisdale, Cordell, Mimi Foz, Kelly Fitzpatrick, Dan Gottlieb, Tony Lilly, Aaron Mailer, Olivia Myers, Frank Roach, Georgine Vero, and Elle Warner, as well as our Storbeck partners, Ann Coyle and Matthew Marsalo. Without you, we could not be here today for this historic announcement. The college is indebted to you for your tremendous, fruitful service. It was my honor to serve with you. Your bold insight, rigorous review and discussion, your steady, assured decision-making, and your professionalism made for an effective chemistry that is rare in such endeavors. You have my heartfelt appreciation for your service and for our most excellent result. Please join me in thanking them for their service. At this time, I would like to call to the podium one of our search committee participants to say a few words about this extraordinary process. Please welcome Sweet Briar Associate Professor of English, Tony Lilly.
Thank you, Teresa, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's great to see so many friends in the audience, and I'm sure watching from afar. It's a great pleasure for me to represent the Presidential Search Committee as we welcome our next president to Sweet Briar. When the search committee first met almost a year ago, none of us could have predicted, although all of us fervently hoped for, the success that we celebrate today. For us to welcome to Sweet Briar a scholar, a philanthropist, and an internationally recognized and respected leader of our president-elect's caliber gives me and all of us a powerful and renewed confidence in Sweet Briar's story, Sweet Briar's mission, and Sweet Briar's future. The path to this moment began last spring when representatives from the board of directors, the faculty, the staff, the Alumni Alliance, and the student body all came together to discuss what we envisioned as the primary qualities we needed in our next president. That conversation could have been very difficult. After all, we all have our own unique relationship to the college, and we all have our own ideas about what will move the college forward, especially because this decision comes at such a critical juncture for Sweet Briar. There was a risk that even from the outset we would find ourselves advocating very different visions of the future and even different kinds of candidates. I'm therefore very happy and relieved to report, and I'm still really a little amazed at this, that the committee members were in nearly perfect agreement at every step of the way. As we worked, it became crystal clear that we all wanted, first and foremost, for the institution of Sweet Briar not just to survive, but to thrive, and to take its rightful place at the forefront of liberal arts education for women on a national and global stage. We also all recognize the need to address our fundamental challenges in enrollment and development. We knew that we needed a president who could help us seek out and seize opportunities for new growth, while also reinforcing the programs and offerings that have served us well in the past. And we also knew that there was something unique about Sweet Briar that our new president would need to recognize and to foster: our shared sense of mission, our feeling of indebtedness and obligation to one another as members of a single community, our sense of responsibility to Sweet Briar as a physical and spiritual home, and our relentless fierceness in the pursuit of the common good. And if the candidate could walk on water, that would be great too. With this common understanding of our needs and goals, members of the committee very quickly learned to trust one another. We shared our thoughts and questions frankly, knowing each of us will be respected and listened to by each member of the committee. I want to especially share my appreciation for Mayor Tomlinson, who chaired the committee. Working with her was a masterclass in clear-sighted and inclusive leadership. So thank you, Teresa. In the end, all of us were in perfect solidarity as we selected our lead candidate and made our unanimous and enthusiastic recommendation that the board invite her to lead us into the next exciting chapter of Sweet Briar's history. And now to introduce us to the next president of Sweet Briar College, I invite Mayor Tomlinson back to the podium.
Thank you, Tony. Now the moment for which we've been waiting, the introduction of our next leader, our president-elect. She is a bold and strong change agent in the most positive sense of the phrase, stating in her own words that while change is essential in order for higher education institutions like Sweet Briar to thrive, quote, you must remain faithful to who you are, your authentic DNA. She gets Sweet Briar in a profound way, stating in her interview with the search committee and referencing the work of poet John Donne that, quote, Sweet Briar is a little world cunningly made. It requires a subtle understanding of its complexity and purpose. In noting the strong sense of belonging inherent in our Sweet Briar community, this sisterhood and ethos we create together, she states, it would be a privilege to work with an organization so beloved. She is as eloquent as she is elegant. She is led by her sharp mind and her open heart. Most importantly, she has a vixen spirit. Like a vixen, she is keen in her intellect and has proven so as a noted scholar, professor, author, and lecturer. She holds a PhD in political science with distinction from Columbia University, a certificate in Latin American Studies, and a master's in international affairs, both from Columbia University, and a Bachelor of Arts magna cum laude from Bowdoin College in Maine. She has been a professor of political science at the University of Michigan, visiting scholar at the Ministry of Finance in Tokyo, Japan, associate professor of political science at Northwestern University, and visiting assistant professor at Columbia University. A native of Seoul, Korea, she speaks Korean and Japanese and is proficient in Chinese, Spanish, and Portuguese. She is the author or editor of 6 books and numerous scholarly articles and is the executive producer of an award-winning film which premiered at the Smithsonian Institute in 2006. Like a vixen, she is shrewd in that she offers astute assessment, problem-solving, and creative solution-making where few others see a path forward. While at Northwestern, she co-founded the Center for International and Comparative Studies, now the Buffett Institute for Global Studies, and founded and directed the Roundtable on International Political Economy. As Associate Dean of Social Sciences at the University of Michigan, she oversaw a division of over 300 faculty members, supported their research and teaching activities, and collaborated with other university departments on global initiatives such as creating the Center for Korean Studies and the Korean Art Gallery. Then, as the newly hired dean of the College and Graduate School of Arts and Sciences at the University of Virginia, where she led 11,000 undergraduate students, 1,600 graduate students, and 800 full-time faculty, she took the helm on the threshold of what would be the nation's longest recession and faced an immediate $16 million cut to her budget from the state's General Assembly. She collaborated with colleagues and saw the opportunity to cost-effectively hire exceptional PhD candidates while the rest of the nation's higher education institutions were cutting back. She retooled the school's fundraising systems to triple its annual fundraising results and revamped the graduate and undergraduate programs to great positive effect. The college thrived under her leadership in the toughest of times. Like a vixen, she has been a fierce advocate of liberal arts education and women's education around the world. She believes that when you educate women, you educate generations, and she has lived her life demonstrating that motto. Most recently, she has worked as Director of Higher Education Support Programs for the Open Society Foundations in London, which has supported liberal arts colleges in the former Soviet bloc, supported higher education for refugee populations in Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan, and supported women's higher education in previously closed cultures such as Bangladesh and Burma. She is all this, and she is a wife and a mother. Her husband, Bruce Cummings, is an author, lecturer, and the Gustav and Anne Swift Distinguished Service Professor of History at the University of Chicago. Her son, Ben Cummings, is a recent graduate of Bowdoin College and is an aspiring actor. We are thrilled to have both Bruce and Ben with us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the video screen so that you might hear in her own words the importance of the educational foundation on which this college is built and why she is the right leader for this time in our history.
The mission of women's education today is different. It's not about access. Women can go to any college they want. But women's colleges offer, I think, very distinct kind of education, quality education, education that's focused on empowerment and leadership. And I think that Sweet Briar has a very important role to play in that regard. Liberal arts teaches you how to think logically, how to think in terms of cause and consequences, how to think in context, with sensitivity, with delicacy. It also teaches you how to express yourself profoundly and clearly. And I think it also teaches you how to appreciate beauty, which I think is very important. And I really don't see what part of that education isn't relevant for the world. I think the community at Sweet Briar has spoken with one voice and very loudly. They want to see Sweet Briar persist, flourish, and thrive. I feel very honored to be part of the team to make sure that commitment comes into and becomes reality. And we want to be devoted to that commitment on the basis of excellence. Excellence in everything we do, so that we can eventually fulfill the great vision of the founder, not just to become a consequential college for women in this country, but for the world. You know, there is a saying that in colleges and universities, faculty only care about parking, and alumni only care about football. Well, at Sweet Briar, we don't worry about parking. There's plenty of parking space, and alumni certainly don't care about football. What they do care about is the excellence and the mission of their college, and they have shown to the country and to the world that alumni can be very important and productive members of the college community, and that they care about issues and institutions far larger than themselves. I was a high school student going to international school in Tokyo, and believe it or not, it was a Spanish convent school. I was rifling through the pages of National Geographic. I came across a heart-stopping, beautiful picture of a house in winter. And I took the magazine to one of the nuns, and I said, Hermana Maria Cruz, where is this place? It looks just beautiful. And she said, well, it's in a place called Maine. It's a very beautiful state. If you want to study English literature, that's where you want to go. There's a school called Bowdoin. So beauty moved me when I first learned about that school. Likewise, when I first laid my eyes on the campus here at Sweet Briar, it simply took my breath away. And so I think beauty is what is the common tie between the two very small liberal arts schools, one that started me in this country and one that I'm about to embark on being part of. I consider myself a Virginian, if not by birth, then by choice. My son graduated from Charlottesville High School. I served as Dean of Arts and Sciences at the University of Virginia for 6 years. My friends are here in this area, so for me, coming to this area is really homecoming. My name is Meredith Wu, and I'm very honored to have been elected as the 13th president of Sweet Briar College.
Unanimous selection of the search committee, the unanimous selection of the board. Your next president, Meredith Wu.
Thank you. Thank you, Teresa, for your very kind introduction and for stewarding the process that has led us to this auspicious moment. I'm aware that the Sweet Briar community is no ordinary community, and the presidency of this college, no ordinary presidency. When I first spoke with President Philip Stone, I asked him what led him to take on one of the toughest assignments in American higher education in July 2015, when the lights had dimmed in the halls of this venerable college. He said, "I'm a Virginian, Meredith, and Sweet Briar is an important Virginian landmark. As a Virginian, I felt the responsibility to help. I also care deeply about the liberal arts." Out of those exigencies came relentless work around the clock, on campus and on the road. He has exemplified what the best presidential leadership looks like. He has also been guiding me through the complexities of running this college, putting the college and me in the best possible place for success. I have big shoes to fill, and I'm most honored and humbled to be Philip Stone's successor. I'm not innocent of the great challenges ahead, but I have accepted your invitation to lead Sweet Briar because I believe that the fundamentals are very strong here. And after the hard work of the last 18 months, Sweet Briar is well poised for a bright future. With your help, I'm ready to roll up my sleeves. Together, we'll ensure that Sweet Briar is what it was always meant to be, a women's college of great consequence for this nation and beyond. The search committee was extraordinary, focused, and determined, and as the process moved forward, also open and warm. Teresa and I spent countless hours on the phone as she explained with forthright candor the challenge and opportunities ahead, and all the things I needed to know, from the finances of the college to the shades of pink, acceptable and not so acceptable. As for the Sweet Briar students gathered here, I'm extremely eager to get to know you in the classroom, in the dining hall, in walks back and forth to your dorms. I'm acutely aware that the world you face after graduation is one far more complex than the one I faced decades ago. I was socialized in college to imagine a world of large organizations and businesses where I could conceivably see my life and career unfold over a long period of time and in a single organization. the world ahead of you is more fragmented, more competitive, more transitory, faster paced, more global. You will need to be nimble, adaptable, quick on your feet, as more information than anyone my age ever imagined piles up on you. And as more news and even fake news flood your world, you will need to be level-headed and discerning. You will need to know who you are and think for yourself. The hallmark of Sweet Briar is an excellent liberal arts education, intense, hands-on, personalized, in small classes, and in the intimacy of a lovely campus. To my mind, there is no better preparation for your future in the 21st century than a liberal arts education, and particularly in a college like Sweet Briar that is focused on the development of a whole person, a whole woman, with the complex set of roles and responsibilities this implies. Sweet Briar House and my office will always be open to you. I look forward to our conversations and learning from you. The faculty at Sweet Briar is acclaimed in national rankings for their attentiveness and accessibility to students. You are the core of Sweet Briar's strength and resilience, and from afar, I've deeply admired your commitment and professionalism and your perseverance in the face of adversity. In the coming days, I look forward to putting our heads together. We'll endeavor to anticipate and articulate the shape of the world in which our students will come to excel, the issues they must grapple with, and the habits of mind that will be required of them. And on that basis, we will work to innovate a liberal arts curriculum that is relevant, exciting, hopefully a shining example to the nation. In the end, however, none of the above is possible without a dedicated staff that supports the college enterprise. The men and women in admissions, finance, communication, athletics, student life, alumni relations, development, in the president's office, and helping to run academic departments. Sweet Briar education is also one predicated on the safety, and health of students. And I understand the staff is superlative in those areas as well. It is really quite remarkable how beautiful and well-maintained the campus buildings are. I look forward to being good partners with you, as I will with so many supporters in the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts across Highway 29, with neighbors in Amherst County and in the Commonwealth. The alumni of Sweet Briar have written, perhaps unwittingly, a very important chapter in the history of American higher education. In times of crisis, you asked, how could a college that left such an indelible imprint on our lives not continue and flourish, to give the next generation of young women their chance at the same transformative experience that we enjoyed? In coming together to support the college and remaining involved right down to this minute, you may have redefined the role of stakeholders in American colleges. You exemplify the best virtues of Sweet Briar women: principled, passionate, and humane. I know you will stay involved and continue to serve as great role models for our students. I know you will stay involved to render your expertise and experience. I know you will stay involved so you can be an integral part of knowledge making and knowledge sharing at Sweet Briar, and thus enrich our common intellectual enterprise. Sweet Briar may be a close-knit community, but it's not a closed community. Among you today are students from distant lands, as I was when I first arrived on the shores of this country as a foreign student, holding on to my F1 student visa with white knuckles. After I finished graduate school, my F1 gave way to an H1 professional visa when I began teaching. Then I got married, had children, put down roots. I became an immigrant and then a citizen. It seemed to me then, as it does today, that the genius of this country is in its recognition that the best way to protect our values and way of life is by opening ourselves to the world rather than closing ourselves off. I hope to make a new and even bigger effort at Sweet Briar to embrace the world and together make our democratic principles more inclusive and more resilient. Thomas Jefferson, our one-time neighbor who built his summer home at a stone's throw from here, said it best. He who receives an idea from me receives instruction himself without lessening mine, as he who lights his taper at mine receives light without darkening me. Sweet Briar has much to offer the world at large, much to learn from that world, and much to share. I'm full of hope and excitement as I think about our future together. Thank you for welcoming me with open arms, and I look forward to our exciting journey together. Thank you.
Sweet Briar College is going to have some great days ahead. That's real clear. I'd like to express appreciation for the presence, I think, of some guests today. We couldn't give you much notice because our search chair, board chair, absolutely threatened to kill us if we let our secret out, that we had to make sure everybody heard it at the same time. So we couldn't give you much notice, but I think some of our local dignitaries are here, and I also believe we have in the back, because he had to come in late from another appointment, has to rush to Washington. But if you're here, I hope you'll stand and let us acknowledge you. Congressman Bob Goodlatte, thank you. Bob, we appreciate you fitting this in. I know that you were so helpful to us during the rescue efforts to save this college, and we appreciate your continuing support for us and to be here today to support Meredith Wu as she's presented. There are also some folks from the county and town and the region here who hold elective or office or officials in the county and town government. If you're here, I'm not sure who you are because we didn't ask you to RSVP, but would you please stand and let us recognize you? Anybody from the town and county here? Do we have some folks? All right, well, they better have a good excuse. No, I mean, as I say, we didn't have time to give them much notice, but they were very welcome. And you know they've been great supporters. Meredith, they will continue that support, and you can count on that. I also want to make you aware that afterwards we can meet Meredith, Bruce, and Ben over at a reception. It'll be at the Robertson Lounge in the bistro area in the Fitness and Athletics Center just next door. Please come by to say hello and introduce yourselves. I also want to say a word of special mention, although the committee has been thanked, and what a tremendous job the search committee did, not only coming up with extraordinary candidates, yeah. But frankly, their ability to keep a secret, I mean, isn't that amazing? I can't believe that I'd never heard anybody leak that secret. And my reaction was, when I saw the credentials of Meredith Wu after the search committee came to a conclusion, was the one that I've heard probably from you today, wow. And I made several dozen calls to former board members and donors and friends, including, how about Helen Murchison Lane? You recognize that name? I told her I said, we'll be in your building. And her reaction was, wow. And that's what I keep hearing, was just wow. And so we're all so thrilled about Meredith. But also, if we had to pay the search committee minimum wage, it would break the bank. We could not afford it. And that is especially true of our board chair and search chair. If Teresa has slept any for the last months, it was very little. Extraordinary work, Teresa, giving leadership to this and to the board. Thank you for all you do for Sweet Briar. So today we celebrate a great success in the history of Sweet Briar College. Meredith was going to be a fabulous president. I not only was impressed with her credentials, but I've now had the opportunity to have dinner with her twice in the Sweet Briar House. Pop quiz, did you notice the environment in her video? You saw Indiana's picture, good for you. And it is clear that she's falling in love with Sweet Briar. I said to the consultant when the search started, what is the first requirement? The person must learn to love Sweet Briar. And Meredith is clearly loving Sweet Briar, and that's so critical. But I'm particularly pleased that as a human being, it is clear to me that she also is as good as the credentials too. And so that's very important to us because ultimately we're family, we're community here. And so we want someone who loves Sweet Briar and someone who's willing to be loved in return. We have a good time here, Meredith. In fact, Saturday night we had the time of our lives at the faculty show. I mean, what an incredible time to laugh. I mean, we are no longer wringing our hands and singing the blues. We actually love being back at Sweet Briar, and we can actually laugh and have a good time together. You're going to enjoy this community. Meredith, as one of the people who's had the pleasure to experience it firsthand, I promise you that you will be welcomed, loved, embraced, and supported as the president of Sweet Briar College. You will find friends here, and they will trust you. They will follow your leadership. They will help you. They will do heroic things that are not possible, to raise the kind of money, to get the students, to build this community, enhance its academic rigor and reputation. They will do it all. I promise you. I've seen it. I've watched it. They will trust you to be their leader, and their trust will be well-founded. I'd like to present you with just a token of our appreciation for your coming here and get started with a little gift to you right away that reflects the tradition of Sweet Briar College with the roses. Meredith, on behalf of the community of Sweet Briar, we welcome you as our next leader. We will do everything we can to make you successful. We look forward to your leadership.
Thank you.
You bet. Please. And the only thing that remains is holla holla.